Some stories, they get buried by history, just waiting for someone to unearth them. So here's a question for you. What happens when you sacrifice everything for your country, and then your country, in the end, refuses to even admit you were ever there?
We all think we know the story of the Vietnam War, right? But this isn't that story. No, this is the one that was erased. Deliberately.
So to really dig into this erased history, we've got to turn to the pages of a pretty incredible novel, Kristin Hannah's *TheWomen.
TheWomen. Well, it takes us right into the heart of the Vietnam War, the epicenter of it all. But here's the thing, it shows us the conflict through a lens that's almost always ignored, the eyes of the nurses who were right there on the ground. So we follow this young woman, Frankie McGrath. She's from California, lived a pretty sheltered and privileged life, and she volunteers because she's been raised on these heroic stories from her father about what it means to serve. And so she goes to Vietnam expecting to be that hero, to serve her country. But what she finds, it's just a world of pure chaos. Mud and just mass casualties. Yeah, that idealized image she had of war, it just shatters, almost immediately. And right away, she's given this nickname, this label, that just marks her as a complete newcomer in this world of trauma. They call her a turtle. And as a turtle, she's thrown headfirst into a field hospital where the sound of helicopters just never stops. I mean, the brutal reality of combat is measured in one way there, by the sheer number of shattered bodies coming through the door. But you see, the real journey in this book, it's not about winning or losing the war. It's about Frankie's own transformation. It's about the sisterhood that gets forged in that kind of trauma, the profound loss of innocence. And it's about the desperate fight to save lives, while everything, literally everything around them, is just falling apart. And through Frankie's story, Kristin Hannah really forces us to confront the human cost. And not just the cost of combat, but the cost of being forgotten. You'd think the horror of the war itself would be the worst of it, right? But for Frankie, and so many others like her, that was just the beginning. The hardest battle was still to come. Because Frankie's hardest battle, it wasn't fought in Vietnam. No, it was fought right here when she returned home. To a nation that greets her not with parades, but with hostility, with public shame. And with a lie. A devastating, soul-crushing lie. There were no women in Vietnam. So I'm going to be upfront with you. This is a long, dense book. It is emotionally overwhelming. It is absolutely not a light read. So you might be asking, why would I take on such an emotionally heavy journey? Well, because what this book offers, it's something truly essential. It gives you an experience that is, yes, heartbreaking, but at the same time, it's so incredibly inspiring. It finally gives a voice to a story of courage that was silenced for decades. When you get right down to it, *TheWomen* isn't just a book. It's a monument. And trust me, your time will be profoundly rewarded.